ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our third and final match of the evening with the withdrawal of Light due to personal injuries. We only have 3 matches tonight, and of course, our third and final will be sSak up against Effort.
Yeah, and so this will just be another really solid matchup tonight. I'm really actually liking this format for SSL Classic, where you get to see every player, well, almost every player in the case of today, play every week in a different matchup against somebody else. So as opposed to like a standard bracket format where players are eliminated, you just get to see a lot of these players and really just get to know them. And I know because these are not, like your big names like Flash or Jaedong, then maybe you're a little bit less familiar with these players. So we get a chance to really get to know how they face off against in a lot of different matchups. And so we have our third different matchup coming up next. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg. It's sSak versus Effort.
Effort got blind countered by Hero with the early 9 pool that we saw last week, and so he lost our quickest game in SSL history in terms of Brood Wars over here at Classic.
I mean, it's probably the fastest game in SSL history.
Probably. You're probably right, but it was super quick, and it's not indicative of Effort's play. It was a build or loss. He took a super greedy build that was risky. He got hard countered, and that's the end of the story for his first match. But this guy is a top-tier Zerg, probably the best Zerg out of the 2 between him and Hero, especially in recent times. But, Effort, I feel like, hasn't lived up to expectations in terms of his ASL games. So a lot of fans hoping that in the SSL here he will step it up and perform better.
Yeah, he's gone out uncharacteristically early in a lot of Star Leagues, but his opponent, sSak here, really, really solid. He had a bust-out win against Free, caught Free kind of with his Nexuses down, and didn't have enough army to stop his push. But coming into now a different matchup, he'll be facing off against Effort, who will really, really test him. And this is really the quintessential StarCraft matchup, Terran versus Zerg. It's the Starship Troopers game, and it's going to be really exciting to see a lot of maybe Dark Swarms as we get out a little bit later, maybe some early rushes, lots of things possible here on Neo Medusa. So excited to see our first TVZ on this map in SSL this season, and it's going to be Effort versus sSak in our final game of the night.
Welcome everybody to Neo Medusa for our third and final map. It's going to be, of course, Hero in teal to the top left, or not Hero, excuse me, Effort, and sSak to the bottom here in red, the Terran.
And we already have more than 4 drones, so it's not going to be a 4 pool. Always makes me feel a little bit better. And one of the really cool things about having this unique counting station that I do want to highlight, as we just see the green player Effort coming down here, is that we'll get a chance to see exactly kind of what these builds are looking like, Wolf. So
yeah, I mean, it does give you a larger trackability in terms of when a gateway is made, for example, without having to count the probes. You can actually just see, it's 9 gate, 10 gate spawning pool the same way. So that is definitely something that's going to be added in here that is going to be really cool for fans and especially newer players of Brood War, because it's tough to follow if you're new. It's tougher to play. Trust me, if you ever install it, you will know. But yeah, as you're going to have this resurgence of Brood War in Korea, it's already happening. Having new fans coming in to be able to follow a little bit easier, definitely it's a nice thing for them. I know not everyone agrees, and we'll know what the future for the UI will hold, but for the time being, it's a nice, refreshing change.
All right, so Overlord actually does scout the correct direction for Effort, but he pulls it back just in time so that it does not reveal its positioning. So for the time being, sSak will be a little bit in the dark.
There's going to be a pool first, and obviously the barracks and supply depot wall will be done at the natural expansion here. So going to take an extra depot here to fully wall this, or an extra barracks.
All right.
Fully scouted by the Overlord. And See if sSak actually gets lucky with his scout here, as well as, like you mentioned, because the Overlord was hidden, he won't actually be able to know where Effort is positioned. He'll have to guess.
Yep, it's still on the high ground, so unable to be seen, and checking out exactly what the builds are going to be. Gas about to come up as the pool finishes, so trying to hide the drone. Come down here with not a hidden hatchery, but at least the timing of it won't be revealed to sSak.
Does see the gas coming up here, and even going to send a Marine across, or perhaps to catch a scouting Overlord or anything coming over, but we'll move that back now to the natural. And we'll likely be starting that CC any moment.
You have to be pretty careful here with your Marines. Brood War can kind of be like a minefield as far as timings go. Sometimes your race will be the one that is strong at this period of the game, but then the opponent comes out with some technology that really shuts down what you're trying to accomplish. So early on, Terran can actually have a pretty big advantage, putting Marines up against walls or in tiny cracks and make it very difficult for Zerglings to kill them. But then once Zergling speed finishes, all of a sudden Terran just has to head for the hills and come back home, and that's kind of the moment that we're watching right now. That's why we see this big wall come up and trying to... Oh no, is it going to be in a little bit of a rough spot? No, the Marines cut outside the wall.
On top of this, sSak must realize that he is scouted in terms of no CC planted at the natural. He will lose both Marines, not much you can do about that, even with God like Micro. He must realize that he's been scouted, that he has no natural expansion. So the factory build here, not as hidden as perhaps he'd like to be. There's no CC coming up, it's just one base factory so far, and it's probably going to be some sort of Wraith opening, which will help him clear this all out, but we'll see. Actually, no, making a Vulture. I assume that's a starport going down to the right of it. Yes. So it is going to be the Wraith opening. But this is all kind of very obvious for Effort. As you can see, there's no CC.
And at this point, honestly, if Effort did want to play just a super long game, he could go ahead and throw down another hatchery right now. Running the Zerglings in, most likely just to try to get a scout, and he does not make it in. Okay, that last canister. What's the name of the Vulture attack?
It is a canister of some kind, I believe.
I forget what the canister is. This is where it becomes an interactive stream, and you guys out there can let us know what the Vulture's attack name is. That's the cool thing about Brood War. Every unit has an attack name.
Yep.
Some of them are just named really wacky stuff, like the Goliath's missile attack is just something super crazy. I forget exactly what it is, but somebody out there knows.
So this Vulture will scout this base and get taken out. Was hoping for some drone kills on his way. The Overlord is actually going to sneak by here to try to get the confirmation, because I was talking earlier about how it seems obvious to Effort, right, that there is no expansion. It's very unlikely he's taking the backdoor expansion.
Oh my god.
So for Effort now to not know about this is kind of a frustrating thing. He knows that there's no CC, and he knows it's pretty unlikely, but he still wants to confirm, if he can, if there's a CC hidden in the main, or see what's in the main, but the tech is well hidden. We're going to see Hydras come across and try to bust this, and Hydras do very well against the double port Wraith that is coming out here. So this is a kind of a problem with Hydra speed finishing now. Effort is going to rally across the map very quickly. Does not want to be in range of the bunker, but this wall is not going to last all too long.
Yeah, it's going to be 2-port cloaked Wraiths coming out, but they might not be out in time. And Wraiths just take so long to kill anything on the ground. Hydras do not. They kill things very quickly, and you're already seeing this wall start to deteriorate.
Now we can just bust down some of these SCVs here. Now the Wraith is shown, and this is going to require Overlord speed to really help deal with, but obviously Cloak doesn't last forever. These SCVs now in range of the Hydras. They're just on hold position here to stop anything that comes by. I love the choice of Spire Tech here. He's going to shut down everything in the future with this.
Yeah, and you can see that sSak right now is actually supply blocked, so he will not be able to build anything even if those starports start working.
Yeah, and the barracks is, just bleeding money off right now as he has to repair it. See the Wraiths come across, but Hydras are about to spawn to defend this.
Yeah, it turns out Wraiths, guys, do not deal very well against Hydras.
He just gets by here. Now that the barracks is down rapid, this is a big problem. GG!
Damn! Hero had the fast speed run of SSL day one. Now this time it is Effort, his Zerg compatriot, that is just going to bust his way to a very fast win over sSak.
It's hard to say whether Effort wanted to do this build from the beginning, or if it was partially reactionary off of not seeing the CC and he wanted to have this Hydra opening, which is also good against Wraiths. but you saw that it was likely one base, went into the Hydra opening regardless, got that early Hydra speed, which gives him super fast rally across the map. There's not a whole lot of units there for sSak because he's super tech heavy. He spent so much gas and time building those 2 starports. He had 1 bunker full of Marines, which obviously the Hydras are going to smash. And the wall, the Hydras work well against the wall. This is why this Hydra bust style is so popular against Terran. We saw Jaedong use it against Flash at the ASL semifinals. This build is strong, and it works. It almost directly counters what sSak was doing.
Yeah, and so we should clarify, in an ideal world, what sSak is doing there is to wall off at his natural, hide the fact that he doesn't have an expansion there, and then bust out, ideally, with two starports, cloaked rays, catch his Zerg opponent off guard, and then kill him that way. Now, that's an ideal world. And in fact, I think it's a little bit naive, because once Effort was able to scout him with the Overlord, he just saw, hey, wait, there's no command center here. I'm just being one-based. Got to watch out for stuff. And then I think things started to fall apart when sSak lost those 2 early Marines.
It was super. Yeah, that was disastrous as well. But it's super weird, right? He got a Zerg fairly far into the base. Didn't see the starport. And he's like, well, if you had a CC that you were hiding in the main, it probably would have been closer to your natural. There's no way you have no units at the front and you're going for mineral-only expand. There's very few things this could be. Are you doing a Vulture drop? I doubt it. It's probably 2-port Wraith, or at least a commitment to Cloak on 1 starport Wraith. He couldn't know for sure there was no CC, but it looked really obvious. And so this build that he chose was a counter, and it was just what he needed to kill. Very basic there.
Yep, take a look at our results for today. Rain taking a victory over Mind. Free versus Hero in a decently long game, but Free just 1 step ahead from the majority of it. And then a very fast win there for Effort over sSak to close out the day. And of course, a walkover victory for Sulky over Light, who hopefully will be back next week as he is recovering from his health issues.
That's right. So for the time being, it will just be simply the walkover win. So Sulky gets that free win. Light gets the death loss, if you will. So that will affect the standings, and we'll take a look at in just a moment. With Free, he will tie his record now 1-1. Rain will be at the #1 spot in the rankings. He's the only player in this tournament to take 2 wins, as Sulky did suffer a loss last week.
Yeah, and I think Rain definitely deserving of that first place spot. He has just looked super solid. He's gone for somewhat aggressive builds both times, going for a Zealot Rush in his first game, and then the hidden 2-base carrier build here today. But I feel like he's so good at execution, not only executing his build, but then using the build to execute his opponent. Good word to use there, and Rain has really been putting it to use. Here come up our standings. Rain, lossless, just like the flat codec.
Light the only one to not turn his luck around in terms of the players that lost yet last week. So he is 0-2 with his forfeit. And yeah, Rain starting things off early, but we've only had 2 weeks. There's still many matches to go. So this is just the beginning, and Rain has only played 1 matchup where he's duped and tricked both of his opponents, or caught them off guard, I should say, more than tricked. And we'll see if that trend continues or if he's going to switch back to his more macro-oriented playstyle.
All right, and of course, everybody else tying things up. So a lot of flexibility out after just 2 months. So like you said, yeah, nothing's really locked down. Rain could have only 2 wins and then lose everything else after this. So that's why you guys have to keep watching the rest of this SSL Classic season. Already changing things up. There's a new day. We got to see a new map in Neo Medusa. Got to see a new spectator overlay. So really cool to see a lot of things changing. And here are our next matches for next week.
So Light was scheduled to play his match against Mind, assuming and hopefully he does recover from his health issues in time to play the Terran versus Terran. Sulky will then face off against Rain. It'll be Rain's first non-PvT matchup. And then Hero will face sSak in the ZVT. And last but not least, Effort with the ZVP against Free, who did eventually dominate Hero in today's match in the same matchup. So some variations we'll see, no doubt, in the playstyle of Effort and Hero in that one. Is there one that stands out to you? Mine is probably going to have to be Sulky Rain. Yeah, I just want to see Rain play a different matchup.
Well, definitely here. And Sulky and Rain being our StarCraft 2 legendary players, GSL champions coming through back to Brood War. They'll be facing off against each other. And I've really liked Sulky's play, but day number 1 was a little bit rough. And Rain has just been looking unstoppable. So these are 2 guys that definitely played against each other previously. And we'll get a chance to see how they face off here in StarCraft Brood War, the SSL Classic.
That we will, and that's not all we have, of course, coming up. We will have on Saturday in just a few days' time, yourself and Valdez will be casting SSL Challenge with Young Bunny, Jockji Hero, Lucira, TY, Gumiho, and Deer. And then our premier matches, myself and Valdez will bring you guys coverage on Monday. I'm not going to read them all off for you guys, but it's a round-robin system, and those are our matchups.
Yeah, lots of great StarCraft coming back. SSL with 3 different leagues, a lot of games to watch, Thursdays, Mondays, and Saturdays. So lots of things coming your way. Also, I want to mention that if you guys do want to come down here to the Nexon Arena, you can do so by following that link down at the bottom of your screen, and all of the money that you spend on buying tickets to come watch the games goes directly to the players in the form of increasing the prize pool. So
that's right.
If you guys want to support the players, that's how you do it.
Yeah, you support the players that are playing that day. I've gotten a lot of tweets about this. I know SpoTV has as well. The challenge matches on Saturdays do not have live audience available. The matches are played in the studio. They are offline, but there is no tickets for those matches. There's no entry. So just watch those at home and come on either the Monday or the Thursday to watch matches here live in the studio.
Well, we certainly do hope that you come down. And even if you aren't able to make it here to our studio in Gangnam, that you're enjoying watching these SSL games online. Thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. Have a good night.